Hello peeps, and welcome to another edition of Let the Money Talk. Today we are actually going to talk about service contracts. My example that I'm going to use is landscaping. Basically, it's service contracts. You're going to get paid for certain services you do. You don't do those services, they're going to be omitted from your payment, and you may even lose the contract. So these are things we are going to talk about today, and basically what not to do if you want to keep that contract. So I'm going to take you on a little tour of our property and show you some of the things that have not been done and why our landscaper might be losing his contract. So let's get started. Now, with the initial spring cleanup, the majority of it was taken care of. There were some things that were missed. As you see, this in front of the gate is supposed to be trimmed, neat. The beds weeded. There's more on the other side. The hedges were trimmed, but not trimmed as often as should be, including these little patches here, over here. Now this tree-like weed, whatever that is growing inside this bush, that was supposed to be removed. The other fun little things. See these growing on the curb edge where the pavement meets the curb? That is actually supposed to be weeded also. Let's take a little look over here. Oh yes, here, it's supposed to be mulched. Mulching was part of the initial spring cleanup, which was not done. That, weeding, trimming of the bushes. It kind of sucks when you got to come out here and do it yourself because the job you're paying for is not being done. Our other fun thing, the tree rings. Tree rings were supposed to have little guards in a ring around the tree and remulched and cleaned up. Not done. Let's not even talk about the pruning of the trees. That never happened. They're supposed to be trimmed and pruned so that there is a 6-foot clearance underneath each and every tree. Not done. Anyhow, that is the front part. They have no problems with the mowing of the grass and kind of trimming the edges. And if you look way over there, I'm going to try and get a little closer so you all can see. The bushes and hedges on this side, barely even touched. Look at the one that's growing up the side of the building. There's that. There's weeds in here. It's supposed to be done. The weeds over by the sign. Now, let me take you for a fun little trip. We're going to take a walk back this way for our property. The cracks. These are supposed to be weeded and sprayed. Around these buildings, weeded and sprayed. I will take you all the way down to the end here, because there is even some partial lawn back here that is supposed to be mowed as part of the front. And 9 out of 10 times, it always looks like it is untouched. So if you have a service contract, like I said, I'm using this landscaping as an example, and you don't do your job, there's probably going to be parts you are not paid for, and you may even lose the contract. It's supposed to be mowed, trimmed, weeded, etc. Every single building on this property. Parking. Let me take you to that fun example. Parking, for some reason, these landscapers do not want to touch with the weed whacking, trimming, weeding, etc. Even though they have the liability insurance, all that. It is actually considered part of the service contract. Untouched. Look at what's growing over here by the trailer. Untouched. These guys get paid basically every 2 weeks to come out and do this job, and everything goes untouched on the actual main part of the property. They have no problem making the very front look nice and pretty, fine and dandy for drawing customers in and all that, but the actual property, no, not so much. Like half of these, I have to have my employee come out, trim, weed, etc. So he can actually add landscaping to his resume if he ever goes for another job, etc. Wants to move up in the company, manage properties of his own. Anyhow, there's what not to do if you want to keep your service contract. So I want to bring up one more do not do. Especially if you're a customer and you come in and see something like this. This is not what you want to be known for. Especially when you're a catering company. You're a catering company and boom. You have pallets of items left out. Dishes, etc. You got items like this sitting outside in the elements for the past week. Now, I'm giving the guy the benefit of the doubt because he keeps telling me he's going to take care of it. And I've told him it's got to go in your unit or off the property, one or the other. Because for my business sense, it can't be sitting here in an aisle taking up space. Now, from a customer sense, I see something like this, I know who I'm not using as a caterer. Ever. You can't keep your items stored properly, cleaned, out of the elements, etc. I definitely do not want to eat your food. I don't want to eat off of dirty plates, dirty silverware, drink from dirty cups. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that from home. That is another do not do. Anyhow, Justice D. DeVille, and this has been another episode of Let the Money Talk.